Hello, welcome everybody to this Clinic 2 orientation. We're going to buzz through just some quick notes about the syllabus, some differences between Clinic 1 and Clinic 2, what we need to put in place for late arrivals or clinic no-shows, some helpful hints as we head into the semester here for this final round of clinic, and then talk about a quick assignment review. So the clinic orientation always, of course, includes the syllabus, and the syllabus is available to you in Blackboard under the Course Materials tab, and it is set up pretty much the same as every other syllabus that you've gotten from us. The course details and instructions, the course supervisor, the clinic supervisor contact information is all there. Please make sure you have the contact information for the clinic, and also I'll give you my phone number as well, my office phone number, so that you have that if you are running late, and it's really important that you let us know if that is the case, as we'll talk about here in just a little bit. The course description, learning outcomes are all listed there, required materials. You do need to have your clinic name tag, the little metallic magnetized name tag that we have for you. If you lose that, you do have to pay to get another one. The first one is included in your course fees, but if you lose it, you have to pay to get another one. But if you are able to hold on to it for the whole semester and just tack it up on the side of the file cabinet where it kind of lives at the end of each shift, if you're able to hold on to that throughout the semester, you'll be able to take that home with you on your final shift as a sort of little memento of your clinic experience. The grading criteria, grading scale is listed there. Of course, you got to have at least a 75% to pass the course, just like every other course that we have. The evaluation descriptions and rationales are listed out there. Attendance is a big piece of this. For attendance for the clinic, it is required to have 100% attendance, and if you need to switch shifts with somebody or make up a shift, we can work that out, but we'll talk about that here a little bit more in just a few slides. The dress code is the same as it was for Clinic 1, scrubs, and then closed-toed and closed-heeled shoes, and then the shift-by-shift outline is listed there in the syllabus, including there are a couple of written assignments here in Clinic 2, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. And then the signature page, we're going to ask you to, we'll have a paper copy of the signature page as well as a paper copy of the whole syllabus for each of you when you come in. You don't have to print it out at home or anything, but we will need to collect that signature page from you on the first shift of your clinic rotation. So please do read through the clinic syllabus and be prepared to sign off on that signature page on your first shift. So some quick differences between Clinic 1 and Clinic 2. In Clinic 1, the goal of Clinic 1, the sessions there, was basically just to help you build up your confidence, work on your timing, and get really proficient at doing a full body session in an hour-long session, and to help you build up your confidence in communications with the clients. Typically clients that you had never met before or had only worked with in previous clinic sessions. So to help you working on the communication part of it, as well as of course practicing the hands-on the actual massage part as well. So in Clinic 2 we continue that, but it's about advancing your skills to the next level. So it's not just a sort of continuation of what we were doing in Clinic 1. It is about more advanced skills because you're learning more advanced techniques and approaches and communication tricks to be able to use with your clients in the communications that you're doing. So as a result of that, we need to assess and evaluate you on those more advanced skills as well. So the client evaluation forms and the supervisor evaluation forms are different from Clinic 1 to Clinic 2. It's going to be evaluating you on more advanced skills, right? So that kind of makes sense. Those eval forms are posted in Blackboard in that same folder where you found this video, along with all the other evaluation forms and things that will be used for the grading. So that's an updated piece from Clinic 1 into Clinic 2. The timing is different. All the sessions in Clinic 1, of course, were set up to be 50-minute treatments, 60-minute appointment with 50-minute treatment. In Clinic 2, we do a bunch of still 60-minute appointments with 50-minute treatments, but we also do a handful of days where we have you doing 30-minute appointments where the treatment time is actually going to be 20 minutes. So no matter what, there's always going to be that 5 minutes at the beginning and 5 minutes at the end for pre and post session consultation with the client. But with a 30-minute appointment, you're going to have 20 minutes to do hands-on skills. So this is not a full body session. This is going to be working on maybe one or two areas of the client's body in sort of a really concentrated, kind of treatment. We also have you do some 90-minute appointments. And with that, you're going to have, with the 5 minutes pre and post, you have 80 minutes to do a treatment. So that is long enough to do a full body session, plus a little extra emphasis on one or two areas where the client might need a little extra work done, right? A little extra attention. And so some of those shifts, you're going to have a 30-minute and a 90-minute in one shift. Some of the shifts you'll have a 90-minute, and then with the written assignments that we have you doing, there's a couple of shifts towards the end of the semester where you'll do a 90-minute session and then have time to sit down with you and your supervisor and your other classmates that are on that shift with you and do a discussion around the written assignment that you had. So that's all sort of laid out in the schedule on the syllabus, so you'll be able to see what days are scheduled for what. There is not an admin shift like we had in Clinic 1. We do have a chair massage shift, but just no admin shift. And the chair massage shift is scheduled for the end of the semester. And we do have these assignments. So there's what are called Assignment 1 and Assignment 2, which is a clinical thinking assignment, where we give you sort of a fictional clinical scenario and ask you to think through, what would my treatment plan be? What would my communications to the client be around this clinical presentation from the client? And so we have you sort of write up what your plan would be for that. And then for assignments 3 and 4, we're going to have you actually create a self-care handout that you would be able to give to a client for, let's say, if you wanted to give them a little handout that showed them a stretch that they could do to help with their sciatica, or to help with getting a better night's sleep, or whatever. We're going to have you create a little one or two page self-care handout, and each student will do that, but then we're going to collate those together and give you a little packet of those student prepared self-care handouts at the end that you'll be able to take out into practice with you. So the other big difference between Clinic 1 and Clinic 2 is we have what are called the focused sessions. Now, these are very popular with our clients, and after students have done them, they actually are something that the students have given us a lot of really good feedback and positive comments about as well. And we'll talk about what that is here in just in the next slide. Okay, so for our focus sessions, the plan is that you will have, to get experience, being able to work a very concentrated area for an extended period of time. So this is going to be a 50-minute treatment, so a regular 50-minute, hour-long appointment, basically. And we want you to know how to do this, because if you work in any kind of clinical setting, outpatient clinical setting in particular, like a chiropractor's office or a physical therapy clinic, this will be the majority of the kind of work that you do. It's rare to do like a full body hour-long relaxation massage in a clinical setting like that. And the reason for that is because typically the office, the clinician there, wants to use the massage therapy that you're doing as an adjunct to the treatment that they're doing.
So if you're working with a chiropractor, let's say, they want you to do massage therapy as part of their treatment plan in the chiropractic care that they're providing to that patient. And because they're doing that, they can then bill the patient's insurance company. And with insurance work, the way that gets billed out is by in increments of 15-minute, what they call a unit of massage. So a 15-minute unit is typically one treatment. So you might do a 15-minute session, you might do a 30-minute session, or it would be 2 units, and but it's going to be on a very specific and focused area of the client's body. And so we want you to get experience with that, because if you decide that you want to work in that kind of clinical environment where you're working alongside other healthcare professionals, that is going to be the majority of the kind of work that you do. So the logistics of this, again, it's going to be a 50-minute treatment, so a regular hour-long appointment like we've had before, but the entire session is going to be spent on that focused area that you are assigned to for that week. And you can work on the right side and the left side. You can work them supine and prone. You can work them 360 degrees around the body part. So if it's the torso or the arm or the leg, right, we want you to be working all of the different muscles, right? The synergists and antagonists, the fixators that are holding the joint in place, the compensators that would be kicking into gear because other muscles have become dysfunctional or not, or not working the way that they could. And so we want you to be working all of that. So putting in place and putting into practice the techniques that you went through and learned in not only Foundations 1, but also Foundations 2. So we've coordinated the schedule of the focus clinic sessions for this Clinic 2 rotation with the course content of the Foundations 3 course, so that just before you have the focus treatment assignment on a specific area of the body in the clinic, you have just recently covered it in the Foundations 3 class with an additional class working on that area of focus. So if you're going to be working on, let's say, the low back, abdomen, and hips, sort of the core of the body, just a week or so before that, we'll have had a class in the Foundations 3 course covering those areas and giving you some ideas, some additional ideas, in addition to what you've already learned, for what you could do to treat those specific areas. We are, as far as the clients that are coming in for those, we are booking specific clients for those focused treatments, looking for clients who have specific things going on in the area of focus that you're going to be working on, right? So if somebody has plantar fasciitis, we book them on the foot day. If somebody has, an old elbow injury, like they've had tennis elbow, in the past, we book them on the day of the arm. If they have, an old shoulder injury, we book them on the shoulder day. So we book people. We're looking to book clients who have things for you to be able to work on, real clinical stuff going on, old orthopedic stuff, maybe old surgeries, just chronic, tension or pain issues in a specific area. We book them on the day that you're going to be focusing on the area where they would really need it the most. And that way you get a better chance of having clients with actual stuff to work on. Now that's the plan, and we're hoping that we can get clients booked into every spot, but sometimes it doesn't work out. People no show, and we have to just get a client on the table. And so sometimes it doesn't work out. The best laid plans, they say, don't always work out. And so that is the plan, but hopefully more often than not, it'll be a client who has something for you to work on in that specific area of focus. It'll also give you a chance to practice your treatment planning for that area around a specific thing. If the person does have something, let's say they have low back pain or chronic low back pain, and it's the low back day, it'll give you something specific to work with as far as your treatment planning and self-care advice and tips that you would give them, suggestions that you might make. And of course your faculty supervisor will be there every step of the way to help you sort of think through, well, what could I do with this person in this situation? They have this old surgery, what can we do to try to accommodate and modify the work that we do to still be able to give them a really good, effective massage therapy treatment. And again, the schedule for these focus sessions is can be found on the syllabus schedule page, where it lays out week by week what you're going to, or session by session, what you're going to be doing.
So let's talk about what happens if you are late for a shift. So unfortunately, this happened quite a bit and has happened over the years many times, especially in Clinic 1. But we really need to nip this in the bud, because this is not a habit that we want you coming out of school having formed. Running late, and especially running late and not calling us to know that you're running late, is just not acceptable. So when you go to get your client from the lobby, you need to have already set up your table. Make sure that the height is adjusted, right? You don't want to be putting yourself in a bad way as far as the table height, and putting yourself, in any kind of physical risk from having, a table that's too low or too high or whatever, because the last therapist that was in that treatment room, had a very different height need, right? So you want to make sure that your height is adjusted. You want to make sure the table is nice and dressed in a professional, crisp, clean looking table. Get the music going, get the lights set the way that you want them, and then review the client's chart, right? That's a really crucial part, especially in this clinic too, of looking over the health history form. If they've been to the clinic before, reading the last SOAP note, or maybe the last 2 or 3 SOAP notes, so that you can say to them, I see in your chart that you marked that you have diabetes, or that you have peripheral neuropathy, or that you had frostbite, on your toes 3 years ago, or whatever. And I see in the last session that you were here for, the therapist worked on your shoulder for, it looks like, quite a while. How was that helpful for you? Do you want me to do something differently, or do you want me to do that again? Just to show them that you have taken the time to read their chart, and that you know what is going on just from a paperwork standpoint, and then find out what's going on for them that day, right? That's the really important part, is to treat them where they are in that moment, right? But show them that you've taken the time, that you care enough to have taken the time to look at that chart and read through it and be familiar with their case. Even if you've never met them before, you can be familiar with their case just from the paperwork, right? So also, really important, crucially important, is to take a minute and just get centered and focused and be ready for your session, right? From as the therapist, it is crucial that you not skip that step, that you not come running in a minute before the session is supposed to start, and race around and get your room set up, and then run out to the lobby and say, okay, I'm ready for your session, come on back, let's get you relaxed, right? That's not how that's supposed to work, right? You want to be centered and focused and clear on what you are there to provide to this client, right? Which is a really good prepared session and treatment, right? So the way this is going to work is going by the clock that is on the computer in the clinic office where the supervisor sits. Is if you're late, and when we say late, we mean if you arrive for your shift later than the shift start time, not the session start time of your first client, but the time of your shift starting, right? Which is 15 minutes before your client's session is supposed to start. If you're arriving after that, ideally you're going to arrive even earlier than that 15 minutes, but that's the latest that you can get there and be considered on time, right? If you do arrive later than that, what we are going to do is cancel your first client session. And we don't want to do that, because oftentimes the clients are either there already or at least on their way. But if you're not showing up on time, we can't trust that you're going to be there on time, right? And if we need you to get there by that 15-minute prior to the session starting time, so that we know that you're there, we know that you're ready, and the client is going to be, we can be confident that we're going to be giving the client the good session that they're paying for, right? These are clients that are paying for the session, paying for this treatment that you're supposed to be giving them, and we can't have you showing up late and still doing a session. So what that means is, if we have to cancel your first client session, you still need to show up and do the rest of your shift, but your client eval score for that first session is going to be a 0. and that'll get averaged in with the second client, but it's going to take your scores are going to take a hit, right? And so please don't do this, right? Don't let this happen to you. If you're going to be late, call us and tell us you're going to be late and when you're going to get there, so that we know that you're on your way and we can let the client know and we can get it all lined up. If you just show up late and you haven't called us and haven't told us that this is happening, then we don't know, and we're going to have to cancel your first client session if you're not there by that 15-minute prior to this client session start time that the shift is actually technically supposed to be starting at, right? That time that's listed on the syllabus. If you're not there by that time, we're going to assume that you are not going to make it for your first client, and we're going to cancel the client. So your supervisor eval score will also take a hit, which I think is kind of appropriate, because you can't expect to get a really good grade if you're showing up late for your client sessions, right? So if this happens twice in a semester, it would be considered a no-show absence. So it's considered kind of a half of an absence on the first one, and then hopefully it never happens at all, but if it happens a second time, it would be considered a no-show. So please just don't let this happen at all. Make sure that you have the phone number for the clinic in your phone. Make sure that you've got it all set up so that make sure that, number one, that you're going to make it to the clinic on time, right? That's the most important thing. But if you can't, if traffic is, if there's some horrible accident or something that not that you're involved in, but that you're just tied up in the traffic of, or if something, happens and you were to be sleeping late or whatever it is, make sure that you have a way to get a hold of us so that we know that you're coming and that you're on your way, right? So if you need to miss a scheduled shift altogether, or if you do no-show for a shift, remember 100% attendance is required for the clinic, and call us and let us know as soon as you know that you're going to miss your clinic shift, right? There are clients that we are going to need to cancel. We work really hard to make sure that we have clients for you when you're scheduled to have a clinic shift. And if we have scheduled clients and you don't show up and you haven't called us, then the client is there and checked in and paid for their session, and we have to refund their money and say, I'm sorry, I don't know where the student is. They didn't call us, but it looks like they're not going to make it for this session, and so we have to send them home. So please don't do this, right? We want you to think of this like a job, and we need you to know if you have a job and you don't show up and you don't call, you're not going to have that job. You're going to get fired from the job, right? And we don't want that to happen to you. We want you to set yourself up with really good habits and really good expectations of what you need to do to keep a job, right? And so when you call, if you're going to be calling to say, hey, I'm running late or I'm not going to make it, if the clinic is open, call the clinic, right? And the clinic number is this 847-925-6000. That's the switchboard number for the college. And then our extension at the clinic is the 2805. And you can leave a message or talk to the supervisor who happens to be there, even if it's not your supervisor. That's okay. But if you're calling any other time, or if you don't know if the clinic is open or not, call my number and my office number, because even if you call and leave a message there, I get an email right away. The college has it set up where faculty members get an email with a voicemail when a voicemail has been left on our office line. And so I can hear that and see that, even if it's 10 o'clock at night, the night before your clinic shift or something. If you're sick and you're not going to make it the next day, call and leave me a message, and I'll get that right away, and I'll know I need to get in there right away and make sure that that client gets a call so that we don't have them showing up with no therapist coming in, right? So put both of those phone numbers in your phone so that you have it and you're ready if it ever needs to be used, right? We hope that it doesn't, but if it does, we want you to have the numbers. So if it happens that you no-show, just like with a job, that is ungood, right? And it is a big deal. It is not something just to blow off and think, well, it's just class. I don't show up for class sometimes and it's okay, so I'll just do that with clinic. No, that is not the way this works. This is no bueno if you no-show for a clinic shift. What we have to do is have you make up 2 shifts for the one no-show. So you make up the one that you missed, but then there's like a penalty shift that you also have to do a second makeup shift of, right? Because we need you to understand that if you no-show, it's a big deal, right? The one exception to that is if you have a documented emergency. If you're in the hospital, if you are in a car accident, something, God forbid somebody, passes away in the family, on the day of your clinic shift or something, right? Then, we understand life happens. We're human too. We know that, but it's got to be in a documented emergency. Going to a concert the night before and being hungover is not a documented emergency, right? So it's got to be something really significant to validate you not showing up for your shift, right? So if at all possible, just don't do this, and then this won't ever come into play, and you won't ever have to worry about it. If it did happen, and then it happened a second time, it means that you would fail the clinic course. And this is a hard kind of line that we have to hold to, because we need you to understand that showing up late, and especially not showing up at all and not calling, is not acceptable. And because we need you to get it in your mindset that when you have a job that you need to go to, you can't just not show up and expect to continue to have that job, right? And so we want you to be set up for success when you get out of here, and this is a part of that, right? And so if it were to happen a second time that you no-showed for a shift after having done the 2 makeup shifts from the first time, then it would mean that you would fail the clinic course, because we can't have that happening. And then to graduate, that means that you would have to retake the Clinic 2 course in a future term. And so again, we don't let this happen to you, right? It is not worth it to miss a shift and have to retake this course and push back your graduation, and please, for the love of all that's holy, don't let this happen to you, right? Okay, so enough of that. So helpful hints. The first shift of your Clinic 2 rotation, you will have 2 clients right off the bat on the first day. So please do come ready for giving good client care. Make sure that you have your colleagues' phone numbers in case you are sick and can't make it. If you want to try to find somebody to cover for you, that would be ideal. And the SOAP note, you're going to have to write a SOAP note, of course, for every table session that you do. And the ideal thing, again, setting up yourself with good habits, the ideal thing is to try to get as much of your SOAP note done from the first client as you can after you've reset your room, before you go and get your second client, right? So you finish your first session, reset the room, right, once the client is up and out, and you've done your post-session stuff with the client, get them up and out to the lobby to fill out the eval form. You come back, you reset your room with fresh sheets, and then sit down and do as much of your SOAP note from that first session as you can. Get through the S and maybe the O, maybe see if you can get into the A, right? And get as much of that done as you can. It's a really good habit to get into, because when you get out of school, you're not going to have a career as a massage therapist seeing 2 clients a day, right? You're going to probably be seeing 5 or 6 or maybe more clients in a day, and you do not want to be in the habit of waiting until the end of your day to sit down and write 7 SOAP notes. That is crazy making, trust me. I know. And you don't want to get in the habit of that. Try and get as much of your SOAP note done while you're waiting for the start time of that second session as you can. In Blackboard, there's the course materials tab where you found this video. All of the eval forms that we use are listed there. The assignment grading rubrics will show up there when it's time, when the time comes for that. And we want you to look over that. We want you to look over the evaluation forms, especially, so that you know what you're going to be graded on, and be thinking about those points, right, and the points that you're going to be evaluated on, so that you can make sure that you're sort of hitting all the notes of that eval form as you go through your session and through your communications with the client. So not as much for points, right? I'm not worried about the points that you're getting. I'm more concerned about you making the work that you do be the best that it can possibly be. So for Clinic 2, we're going to be doing early in your rotation, your clinic session this semester, we're going to be doing what we call a faculty feedback session.
So this is going to be one of the early sessions in your rotation. And what you're going to be doing is basically just doing a massage session on a client who is one of our faculty members. This is not for a grade. It is not like an entrance exam or anything like that. This is just strictly for feedback purposes. And we'll set up a goal or two, or maybe more with you to work on, for you to work on through the semester as you go through the term. The faculty member that you work on may be your main clinic supervisor, or it may not be. It may be somebody who's not, even in the clinic as a supervisor this semester. And if it's not, the feedback and the goals that you set up will be shared with your supervisors, so they can work with you through the semester toward that goal as well. We also are going to have a fundraiser that will be the chair massage event for the semester. We're going to do a chair massage-a-thon, and it'll just be during the time of your regular shift, so it's not like a full day or anything, but it is a fundraiser specifically to benefit the Alzheimer's Association. And this is I think we've done this for several years, and it's a really great event, and we have raised a pretty good sum of money over the years for the Alzheimer's Association, and that's starting to pay off. If you've noticed, maybe news stories where they're creating new tests, blood tests now that you can take that are now FDA approved that look at the little tau and beta amyloid proteins in the brain that are just circulating around in the blood, and it's predictive of whether a person is sort of on the pathway towards dementias and specifically Alzheimer's disease. But the sessions are going to be 10-minute chair massage sessions, and the clients that we advertise this to, we're going to be telling them it's a suggested $10 donation for a 10-minute chair massage. If they want to donate more, they certainly can, but it'll be just a chair massage event like normal, but at the desk area, we're going to be doing these donations. We'll have a QR code that'll take them right to the donation page, and they can make a donation right there, or they can log on to the Alzheimer's Association website. The donation goes directly to the Alzheimer's Association. We don't take any money, and it goes directly into the coffers of this charity. And then they get, if they do the donation online, they get a tax deduction for it, because it's of course a tax exempt charity organization, and so that's a nice thing. Please understand, though, you as the massage therapy student do not need to donate money. You certainly can if you want to, and if you have it available, don't put yourself in a bad way or anything to be able to do it. But you do not need to donate any money. Your participation as the massage therapist doing the massages, where people are going to be hopefully donating money, to the charity as part of the fundraiser, your participation as the massage therapist is all that we're asking you to do. If you would like to participate, though, in raising more funds, again, without having to donate any money yourself, there will be a link in the course material tab of the Clinic 2 course shell in Blackboard. And when that opens up, you'll see a link in the course materials tab that gives you instructions on how to join our team. And then when you have that, if you've done that step, you can ask your friends and family, and if you can put it on your social media. We've had students before who put it on their social media page and been able to raise funds, through their social media contacts from all over the country. And people donate based on your session. So it's kind of like if you've ever seen the people that do like a walk-a-thon, where they get friends to donate money, and they pledge, if you walk 10 miles, I'm going to give you $10 per mile that you walk. And so they would then, if they make it the whole 10 miles, then they donate $100. So you could have your friends and family say, I'm going to be doing chair massages, maybe consider giving a $3 donation for every client that I work on, and I'll tell you how many I have worked on at the end of the day. And you'll probably work on, if it's nice and busy, you'll probably work on anywhere from 7 to 10 clients. Each student will probably work on 7 to 10 clients in that chair massage shift. And so if they do $2 or $3, it'd be per client, it'd be $20 or $30 donation. Again, tax deductible, and it's going to go right directly to the Alzheimer's Association. So it's all nice and secure and all of that. So if that's something that you would like to do, again, you are not required to do any of that part. The only thing that we are asking you to do is participate as the massage therapist doing the massages. But if you'd like to participate even more voluntarily, optionally, you can do this thing of joining the team and getting getting friends and family to participate with you kind of along the way there as well. Now, the other piece you can do, again, totally optional, is if you join the team and you're able to donate, you can join the team without donating, but if you join the team and donate, in years past, you would get a T-shirt, a little swag that says "End Alzheimer's." It's a nice little T-shirt, and you can wear that on the day of the chair massage event if you do it ahead of time. And that's a little sort of thank you gift from the Alzheimer's Association if you've joined a team and you're going to participate and you also donate money of your own. And I think in the past it's been you needed to donate like $20 or something. So if you're able to do that, again, don't put yourself out. It's not a requirement in any way that you would donate. But if you do, and if you have joined the team, then you can get a little swag for the effort there. All right, if you have any questions about it, please let me know. But our main goal is just to have you participate in this community service event that we do as a department. And if you'd like to participate, over and above that participation, we would love to have you do that as well if you're able. So this is going to be a really great semester. I will tell you the summer semester goes fast. It's a really good opportunity to sort of watch your own energy reserves, right? Take good care of yourself, eat good food, nutrition, right? We want to pay attention to that. Be moving as much as possible, right? Get good movement nutrition, as Daniel talks about. Get good sleep, right? Take care of yourself. Be grateful for all the wonderful things that you have going on in your life, an attitude of gratitude, right? Just take really good care of yourself because you're going to be working a lot more, right? This is a 16-week semester scrunched down into 8 weeks, and it's kind of a sprint to the finish here for many of you. But just know that it's a temporary, 8-week period, and you're going to do great. If you have any questions, email me, or give me a call, stop by the office. I'm happy to connect with you anytime. Thanks, everybody.